Hey everybody, I'm Josh Jackson from WPSculptor.com. Thank you so much for watching this video. Throughout this video, I'm going to show you how to build a custom e-commerce website with WordPress using a free e-commerce theme and a free e-commerce plugin. I'm not going to skip any steps because I want even absolute beginners to be able to easily follow along. After this video, you'll be able to create a professional and custom online store all on your own. Please feel free to leave your questions and comments in the comment section below, and thanks again for watching. In just a moment, I'll show you a video walkthrough of exactly what we're going to be creating, but for now, I'll start with a bullet list. This step-by-step video tutorial will include setting up a domain name and hosting account with HostGator.com, getting your first month of web hosting for just 1 cent, downloading and installing a free professional WordPress theme, installing the WooCommerce plugin that will create advanced e-commerce functionality on your site, setting up custom navigation menus, creating your own professional-looking logo, changing your background color or using free texture patterns or other images, creating pages and adding images to your pages, adding new products and product categories, setting up and integrating a PayPal account for payment processing, setting up advanced tax and shipping options, using upselling and cross-selling functionality to maximize your profit, adding a blog to your site, adding widgets to your sidebars, basic WordPress settings, and more. This is the exact e-commerce website I'm going to show you how to create step by step without skipping anything. The first thing I'm going to show you how to do is set up a domain name and hosting account with HostGator.com, which is an excellent company for hosting your website. And then I'm going to show you how to download and install this free WordPress theme called Mio by a company called SplashingPixels.com, which is an excellent company. And then I'm going to show you how to download and install a free e-commerce plugin called WooCommerce, and this theme is made with WooCommerce specifically in mind, so it is very compatible, and that's a great thing to have with your website. The next thing I'm going to do is show you how to create this logo here, and I actually did not come up with the color scheme on that logo. I borrowed that from a trail shoe that I own, and just to note, you cannot copyright color schemes. They are completely fair game. So I'm going to show you how to use your favorite brands and come up with your color schemes that way, and also I'm going to show you about a resource that is very helpful for coming up with color schemes. And I'm also going to show you how to come up with free textured backgrounds like this here. There's an excellent website called subtlepatterns.com, and you can use those on your site. They're free to use. Then I'm going to show you how to set up this navigation menu here with a drop-down menu like this, and you can customize these links and have them link to whatever pages you want and have them say whatever you want them to say. I'm going to show you how to set up this product slider here that's transitioning between 3 featured products that you can specify, and there's going to be an image, a description, a title here, and then of course the buy now link and the price, and you will have complete control over which products show. And then if you have a blog, and if you would like to include this, you'll have a link to your latest blog post here, and this will appear on every page, and then also this will appear on every page as well, and this is going to be 4 random products that will cycle randomly for each page that your users visit. And then your footer will include the social media icons of your choice. I've currently got Pinterest, Google+, and an RSS link, but you will have the option to include Facebook or Twitter or Flickr or YouTube, any of those. You'll have complete control over which ones you want to include there. And then we have a custom footer menu here that's got links that are different from what we have up here, and you will be able to specify exactly what you want to include in your footer menu. Then I also want to point out that the checkout here, this will update as your customers add products to their cart. It'll show however many different products they have will show up as, instead of 0, whatever that number is, it'll show up there next to item. And then your customers can also create accounts so that their billing and shipping addresses are saved so they don't have to type that in each time they purchase. And then this search products, that will come included with this theme. And one other thing about this theme, you can see that it's a responsive WordPress theme, which means it's mobile friendly and it's going to resize nicely like this for mobile devices. That's a really handy feature to have with WordPress themes these days. And I'm going to show you how to set up your shop page here. When we click on that, this is displaying all of the products that I have in my entire store. And I've only got 6, but you can set this page to display as many as you'd like. And I'm going to show you how to make certain products on sale, like this one here. And you can see the regular price is 60 and the sale price is 50 there. I'm going to show you how to set up these 3 sidebar widgets. We've got our products divided into at least one category, so we've got a list of all our product categories here. I'm going to show you how to set that up, and if we click on the sports balls category, for example, we'll get all the categories that are in the sports ball, or all the products that are in the sports balls category. And then I've got this shopping cart widget, which is really cool because if I add this golf ball set of 12 to my cart, for example, by clicking that button, my cart's going to update right there. And then here at the top, you see that we now have one item in our cart. That's really cool feature. And then this price filter is a really neat widget because it allows your customers to view products based on their budget. So it works on whatever page you're on. So we're on the sports balls category, so we're going to use the price filter, and it's only going to be applied to products within that category. And for example, if I wanted to show products between, let's say $18 and $30, I click filter, then I'm only going to get this soccer ball. Just like that. So that's pretty neat. Now if we were on the shop page that is displaying all of our products, then the price filter would be applied to all of the products in our system. And then we could click here to get taken to the golf ball set of 12 product page, or we could click here and get taken to the same page. So I'm going to show you how to set all this up for each one of your products. You've got the product title, you've got the product price and sale price if that applies. You've got a short description here that can be whatever text you want. And then we've got a list of all the categories this product belongs in, and you can specify all of those to your liking. And then we've got a long product description here. And you can have customer reviews if you'd like to. That's an optional function as well. And then this is actually an example of upselling. This is the premium golf ball set of 12, so it's priced a little higher. And let's pretend like we actually make more money on that. The profit margin is either the same or better, and we make more money on that. So we want people that are looking at this normal golf ball set of 12 to see that. So we've got that as an upsell product there so that customers have the option to look at that one instead of this one. And then we've got this featured image here. And when you click on the featured image, it's going to open up and you're going to have this lightbox gallery. And you can switch through all the different images in the gallery that are related to this product. And another cool feature is if you've got really large images, your customers can click here and see the full-sized image like that. And then they can either just click on this X or just click out here to exit out of that. And this is optional. I do recommend having at least a featured image, definitely, but you don't necessarily have to have gallery images, but I think that's a really cool thing to do. And then I'm going to show you how to create a blog if you'd like to have a blog on your site. It's going to look like this. And notice that we have different sidebars for our blog page. We'll also have different sidebars for our about page. It'll be this same sidebar, as opposed to on the right that we have for our product pages. But you can click here on your blog post to get taken to the full post like that. And we only have one blog post, but if I go back to my blog page, if we had multiple blog posts, the newest post would appear at the top, and these would just be stacked on top of each other. And I'm going to show you how to create an about page. When you'll be able to insert images, you'll be able to insert text in paragraph form, and then I'm going to show you how to make links with your text, and these are going to be hyperlinks that link to either other pages on your website or to any page on the web. And then I'm going to show you how to create these bullet lists just like that. Alright, now I'm going to walk you through the checkout process. Your customers could either click on this button here in the cart widget, or they could click on this icon or either the checkout or the cart tab, but we'll just click on the icon. And on this page, your customers can put in a coupon code if you've supplied them with one. And the coupon codes I'm going to show you how to create. You can set those up to be either cash discounts, or there's even a free shipping coupon you can set up. And the shipping options, you'll have a lot of control over your shipping costs. And you'll be able to, of course, pass that on to the customer. Currently, I've got it set to 3 flat rate shipping options. and you can adjust those. And what's really cool about the WooCommerce plugin, and I'm going to show you how to do this. Let's say you have items that maybe are really heavy and you need to charge an additional amount each time one of those items is added to the cart, so that you don't lose money on shipping and you can pass that cost to the customer. I'm going to show you how to do that. And then we've got tax here is showing up as $375, and that I've set that to 7.5% of the item total. So 7.5% of 50 is the tax amount. And a lot of places that do business, you only have to charge sales tax to people that are residents of your state. So I've got this currently set up to where only people in Colorado will be charged sales tax, because that's where I have the business set up, this mock business set up. So you'll see this note here that this is only estimated. So if people aren't from Colorado, that tax will not be applied to their purchase. Then when they click on Proceed to Checkout, they're going to get taken to this page, and this is where they would fill in their billing information. So let's just do that real quickly here. Put in the address. Obviously, this isn't real information. Okay, and then here they would have the option to create an account, and if they check that box, they could fill in a username and a password, and that way they could log in either by clicking here or clicking on the My Account tab, and they wouldn't have to put in their billing address and shipping address every time. So that's convenient, and they can also go to their My Accounts page and see a history of their orders, their purchases. And then I've got this tab checked. If I uncheck that, I could put in a different shipping address if that was not the same as the billing, but in this case it is. And here I want to show you, we have the tax applied, which is 7.5% of $50. And if I change this to any other state, Alabama for example, then that tax is going to go away. I've got it set to only apply to Colorado residents, people that have a billing address in Colorado. And then they're going to click on, let's change that back to Colorado. And when your customers click on Place Order, they're going to get, we don't want to create an account right now, so we'll uncheck that and hit Place Order. Your customers are going to be taken to your PayPal page, and I've got it set to my PayPal page. This is a personal PayPal account. If you had a business PayPal account set up, it would actually say the business name here, and then right here, instead of saying your email address, it would also say the business name. And I'm going to show you how to create that business account. It's really easy to do. And you can see here we've got the golf ball set of 12 for $50. We've got the $5 shipping that we selected, and the tax is applied down here. And if your customers have a PayPal account, they could click on this option here, but if they don't, they can use this option and just pay with a credit or debit card, and all they would have to do is fill in their information here and hit this continue button, and on the next page they would select what card they were going to use to pay, and then they would just complete the payment. And after that, your customer will receive a PayPal receipt, and you will receive an email from PayPal that lets you know that you have a new order, and you'll have all the information you need to fulfill that order. The first thing we're going to do is get our hosting set up at hostgator.com and click on web hosting. And you'll see you have three different options here. The hatchling plan and the baby plan are very similar. The hatchling plan is cheaper because you can only have one domain hosted on that account, whereas the baby plan gives you all the same features, except you can have as many domains as you would like to host on that one account. And that's what I recommend starting out with. You can always downgrade or upgrade, but I recommend starting out with the baby plan. And then you have the business plan that has the same features as the baby plan, and then you get these two additional features as well that most people probably don't need. So like I said, I recommend the baby plan, and we'll start with that. So just hit order now. Now you're going to set up a domain name, and if you don't already have a domain name, you're going to want to find something that's not already taken by someone else, and sometimes that can take a few tries, and you've got to get a little creative nowadays. But I recommend trying to find a .com or a .net. Those are the two most common. So you're going to enter in the domain name you would like here, and I'm going to do what you want your domain to be .com. I'm not actually going to use that, but that is available, so I just want to show you that that's what it'll say if there is a domain name available that you would like. And then of course, if you already own your own domain name and it's with another registrar like GoDaddy or another company like that, you can click on this and type that in there, and then HostGator will give you special instructions on how to connect that domain with your hosting account. But we're just going to stick with this option here, and this is going to be $12.95 for 1 year, and that's going to cover us for a whole year. I wouldn't worry about this. We want the .com, so we're going to leave the .net unchecked. We don't need that. And then make sure that you've got the baby plan selected if that's the plan you choose. And I'm going to change this. Instead of paying for 36 months all at once, you actually get a better price that way. But I'm just going to change this to a 1-month billing cycle. And I'm going to give you, the coupon codes that give you either 25% off for those of you that would like to order several months at one time. That's a pretty good deal. And then also the most common coupon code I have is your first month of web hosting for just 1 cent. So I'm going to give you a better deal than that. And then here you want to select your username. And just make sure that you meet these the criteria here, and then also a security pin, and keep that because you'll need that if you need customer support or anything like that. You're going to enter all your billing information here, and you can pay with a credit card, or for those of you that would like, or if you're out of the country, pay with PayPal. And then you have some things that are selected by default. I like to uncheck these. You can add domain privacy protection later, and you can add site lock later. Some people like to have that. I like to start pretty cheap, so I tend to turn those off. And then this code is the code that gives you 20% off. Well, let's say we want our first month of web hosting for just 1 cent, so we're going to use WP Sculptor 1 cent. And not only is that going to give you your first month of web hosting for just 1 cent, it's also going to give me credit for referring you to HostGator. So I really appreciate that. That helps me continue making these videos. And again, thank you for that. And you can also type in WP Sculptor 25, and that will again give you 25% off your order. And that's good for people that want to order, like I said, multiple months at one time. And depending on how many months you order in one time, it might be more than $9.94 off. Okay, and then scroll down a little bit, and I just want to show you that right now it's saying $20.91 because we've got 1 month of posting, which is $9.95, and then we've got our 1 year's worth of domain for $12.95. When we validate this code, click that, and now you'll see that we're getting $9.94 off our first month of hosting. So our first month of hosting is just 1 cent, and our total is $12.96. So go ahead and click on I've read and agree to the terms and conditions, and then click Create Account. So now HostGator is going to set up our account, and once that's set up, they will send an email with the important account details to the email address you specified in the previous screen. So be sure and use a valid email address. So we'll give this 10 to 15 minutes, and then we'll check back and check our email. Alright, so go ahead and log into your email account, and you should see in your inbox an email like this that says from sales, hostgator.com, your account information. Go ahead and click on that, open it up. And here next to your control panel, you have a link to your control panel. We'll need that in a second. And we'll also need the username that you typed in the previous screen. It's right there. And also the password. You'll need that as well. So I'm going to click on the control panel link, and that's going to open up in a new tab. Then I'm going to go back and I'm going to copy this username, paste that in there, and then the password. I've actually changed this password obviously, but you would just copy and paste just the password. You would just copy that and paste it in there. And then hit login. And this is what your control panel looks like. Go ahead and exit out of these messages. Alright, so the first thing we need to do in the control panel is scroll down underneath Software Services, click on Quick Install, and this is where we install WordPress. Now you won't see all this. This is because I have several different websites on my account right now, but you're going to click on WordPress here on the left and click on Continue, and then right here make sure it's got your domain. I've got all these options because I've got multiple domains, and I'm actually going to use for this tutorial a subdomain eshop.quickwebsitecreation.com, and I'm going to leave enable auto upgrades checked, and I'm going to type in my email. Actually, I'm going to give it a blog title, which we can always change later. And then you want a username and your first and last name. And then you're going to click on Install Now. This will take a minute or two, if that. Alright, now WordPress has been installed to our hosting account. Now, one thing that's going to happen here, it's going to take a couple of hours for your website to actually be available. So whatever your domain is .com, you can type that in and you won't get anything. Just give it a couple of hours. It's got to set that up, and then you'll check back. But we definitely want to make sure to go down here and copy and paste our username and password, so that we have that and we'll be able to log in to our WordPress backend with those credentials when we check back here in a couple of hours. Alright, so check back after a couple of hours and your site should be live. So open it up in a new tab and type in your domain name. And this is what a brand new fresh installation of WordPress looks like. This is actually the brand new version 3.6, and this is the new 2013 theme. And go back to your quick install page, and right here is a link. You can click on that, and that'll take you to the login screen for the back end of your WordPress site, or we can just go and type that in manually. Your domain name /wp-admin. So eshop.quickwebsitecreation.com /wp-admin in my case. And then we're going to grab the credentials that we were given, our username, paste that in, and then our password for our WordPress login. We're going to paste that in there, and then click Login. And this is what the back end of your WordPress website looks like. The first thing we want to do when we log into the back end of our site is deactivate a plugin that comes installed with WordPress called WP Super Cache. And basically what this plugin does is it helps your site load faster for your users. So it's a really nice plugin, but sometimes it interferes with showing your most recent changes. And since we're going to be making a lot of changes just all of a sudden here, we don't want that to be a problem. So most of you wouldn't have a problem with that anyway, but some of you will. So we're just going to play it safe and go ahead and deactivate that plugin. So go to Plugins here on the left, click on Installed Plugins. And then underneath WP Super Cache, click on Deactivate. Alright, and the next thing that I highly recommend doing is changing your password so that you don't have to remember that random string of letters that it gave you. So to do that, click on Users, hover over Users, and then click on All Users. And there should only be the one user. Click on Edit and scroll down, and next to New Password here at the bottom, just change that to something that you can remember. Type it in again, and then update the profile. Alright, now we are going to install our theme. So to do that, open a new tab, and we're going to go to splashingpixels.com. And this is a great WordPress theme company that's got quite a few e-commerce themes to choose from that are all compatible with the WooCommerce plugin that we'll be using. We're going to use the free theme called Mio, so if you're not already on the home page, it should be Awesome Themes. Click on that if you're not here on the home page, and then click on Mio. And then you're going to click Download. And we want to save this file. We don't want to open it with our archive utility because we have to keep this file in the zip format. That's the only way WordPress will read it. So save the file and click OK, and that's going to download into my Downloads folder. So just be sure you know where that file is being downloaded, and then go back to your dashboard, and we're going to click on Appearance, hover over Appearance, and then click on Themes. We want to install the theme, so click on Install Themes, and we're going to upload this from our hard drive. So click on Upload, and then click on Browse, and then find the file wherever you saved it, and it's going to be called sp_mio.zip. So go ahead and click on that, click Open, and then click on Install Now. Alright, now we're going to activate the theme. Click on Activate. Alright, now we have our theme installed. The next thing we're going to do is install the WooCommerce plugin that will provide our e-commerce functionality. So to do that, go to Plugins, hover over Plugins, click on Add New. And we're going to search for WooCommerce. Just type that in, one word. Click on Search Plugins. And it's going to be this top one here. Click on Install Now and click on OK. Alright, and same thing that we did with our theme. Once it's installed, we're going to click on Activate. So click Activate Plugin. And on this page, it says here, Welcome to WooCommerce. We want to install WooCommerce pages, so click on that. And this is going to set up all the pages that are essential to having an e-commerce system automatically for you there, so that's great. Alright, now let's take a look at our site, and one trick to view your site quickly and easily is to click on this area of your dashboard, and that will switch between your site and your dashboard. So I'm going to open it actually in a new tab by right-clicking or control-click if you have a Mac. Open link in a new tab, and now I can run both of these at the same time. Click on that, and here we go. Obviously we've got a lot of work to do, but this is the starting point for us. So let's go back to our dashboard, click on that tab, and let's make sure we've got some general WordPress settings set correctly. Go to Settings and then click on Reading. And by default, the theme that we're using should set this up for you automatically, but just make sure your front page is set to SP Home. And your post page, we'll just leave it blank for now. When we create our blog page, we'll set this as our blog page, and that'll be later on. So just go ahead and click on Save Changes once you make sure SP Home is your front page. And now let's set up our navigation menu. To do that, go to Appearance, Menus, click on Menus, and then we're going to give this a name. Let's call it, we'll just call it Main Menu, and then click Create Menu. Alright, now we need to add pages to that menu. So let's add, these are the pages that we have, and most of these were created by our WooCommerce plugin. So we're going to add our shop page, our cart page, and our checkout page. So select those by checking the box and click on Add to Menu. Okay, now those are added, and just to demonstrate, if you want to reorder these, and for example, I want my shop to be the first menu item, so I'm going to click here and hold, and then I'm just going to drag it up and put it right there on top. So it's going to be shop, checkout, and cart. And then we need to add this. We've got two locations in our theme. We've got our header menu and our footer menu, and we want to add this to both of them, and they'll be identical for now. We'll change that later, but go ahead and click on both of those and save the menu. Then we're going to go back to our website and refresh the page, and these blue letters will go away. And now we have our menu. We have shop, checkout cart here, and shop, checkout cart here in our footer. And go back to your menu, and just to demonstrate really quickly, if you wanted a navigation, in other words, if you wanted a drop-down menu to where shop, when you hover over shop, it drops down and shows checkout. You could click and drag checkout over to the right, so it's indented a little bit, and then let go, and then save the menu. And if we go back and refresh the page, checkout will disappear, and now when we hover over shop, checkout appears beneath shop. And just to note, the footer menu in this particular theme does not support drop down, so we're not going to worry about that for now. So let's revert back to what we had, save the menu, and refresh the page. Alright, and so we've got our home page set up correctly. So that basically means that WordPress knows, because we told it to in the general settings under the reading, we wanted eshop.quickwebsitecreation.com to be our SP homepage. And that's what this theme sets up for us automatically. Now I want to point out that our featured slider that will display our featured products will appear right here when we set that up momentarily, and then also we'll have our random products that will display below this latest blog post. And of course, when we create our blog, it will actually display our latest blog post. But first I want to create our about page. So to do that, I'm just going to go ahead and exit out of these windows. I'm going to go back to my back end, and I'm going to go to Pages, Add New. And I'm going to call this About. And then we're going to come down here to our text area, and I'm going to paste in some text that I already have. Paste that in. And this icon right here is called the kitchen sink. When you click on that, it gives you some more formatting options, and basically this functions much like a word processor would function. You can highlight the text, and you can make it bold, you can center it, basic stuff like that. But by default, everything is what's called a paragraph tag. That's an HTML code. And I'm going to go here and drop that down a line. And I'm going to click here at the top far left, and I want to add my About Me picture there. So to do that, I'm going to go to Add Menu, or Add Media rather, and then Upload Files. I'm going to upload this from my desktop, so I'm going to select Files, and I've got this in a folder that's on my desktop. I'm going to add that image, click on Open, and it's going to upload that. And then you want to give it alternate text and a description, and this is for search engine optimization purposes. You want search engines to know what your images are about. I'm just going to change the title. And I want this image to appear to the far left of my text, so I'm going to change this alignment to left. And then here, link to media file. Basically what that means is that if the image was clicked by the user, it would open up that image in a separate page on its own. I don't want that to happen. I could link that image to other content either on my site or on the web by doing a custom URL, and I could just copy and paste a URL wherever I wanted that image to link, but I want it to not be a link at all, so I'm going to set that to none, and I'm going to leave that at full size for now. And then I'm going to insert into page. Okay. And let's go ahead and publish the page. Alright, now that page is published. So if we go back to our site and we refresh the page, you'll notice that nothing happens. And that's because we haven't added this page to our menu yet. So it's created, it's just not accessible from our menu. So to do that, let's go to Appearance, Menus, And we're going to click on About, because that's the page we just created, and click on Add to Menu. Alright, and it puts it there at the bottom. And we want this to be added to, of course, our main menu, which we've got by default, and make sure that the header navigation and footer navigation are checked so it appears in both places, and then click on Save Menu. Now if we go back and refresh the page, we have our About right there at the top, so if we click on that, we get our About page right there. Alright, now let's go back and we're going to do a few more things here. Go back to your back end, click on Pages, All Pages, and we're going to get back to the About page. Click on About. And I want to show you an example of some of the things you can do with the visual editor. We're going to add what's called a bullet list, and to do that I'm just going to type in list item 1, list item 2, enter, and list item 3, and I'm going to highlight those, and then I'm going to click on this icon right here, and that is what's called an unordered list, and it basically gives them a bullet point. And now if we update the page and we go back and refresh our page, we will see that these are now bullet list items. And another thing I want you to see here, we don't really want this to be here. We don't want people to be able to leave a comment on our About page. That doesn't really serve any purpose. So we're going to turn that off by going back to our page. And there should be some options here that are obviously not displaying. So to make those display, go to Screen Options, click on that. This drop down will appear. Click on Discussion, and then click on Screen Options again just to pull that back up. And now we have these options here. We're going to uncheck Allow Comments, and then we're going to update the page. And now if we refresh this, this comment option will disappear. And this edit, by the way, is only there because we are currently logged in, as indicated by this gray tab. This gray tab will not be there unless we are logged in, nor will the edit option. But this is just an easy way to edit this particular page. We can click on that and get taken back to the page editor for that page. Now I want to point out something really strange that's happened here. Let's go back. I've opened this up in a new tab. This is what we've been looking at. We have our content section that is pushed over to the left side of the page, and then we have a space that's empty, that's our sidebar, and it's on the right side of the page. What you're hopefully looking at, and probably looking at, is the content section of our About page on the right side of the page over here, and then you should have a sidebar area, and you should actually have a meta widget with login. And let me just show you how to fix that in case you have this issue. You shouldn't, but let me just show you how I fix this. Go to your dashboard, then you're going to go to Mio, click on that, and that's going to open up your theme settings, and click on Sidebar Layouts. And as you see here, this is what it is by default. On our product pages, which is our shop page, and if we have, like, later we'll have categories of different products, those will display the content section on the left and the sidebar on the right. Well, under blog pages, it should be the opposite, where the content is on the right and our sidebar is on the left. And with our normal pages, which is what the About page is, our content should also be on the right and our sidebar should be on the left. But what I did to fix that was I just clicked on this, selected right, and then Save All. And then I just switched it back to sidebar left, and again clicked on Save All. And you might have to do that with each one of these as you proceed with your website. But now if we go back and refresh this page, it should appear as it's supposed to. And that is hopefully what you've been getting all along, but if you run into that, there's the quick fix on how to get that working correctly. Alright, so the last couple of things I want to show you how to do with the About page are changing this image size to make it a little bit smaller, and then selecting whatever text you would want and making it a hyperlink so that it links to another web page either on your site or another web page anywhere on the internet. So to do that, let's go back to edit this about page, and we'll start with the image. From within the visual editor, just click on the image, and you should get these two options. Click on the left, it looks like a landscape icon, and right here we have all these different options here. So I'm just going to shrink it down to 70% by clicking on 70, and when I move my cursor away, it should stay on 70. And I'm going to update the page, and then I'm going to update here. Alright, now if we view the page, our image should be considerably smaller, 70% of its original size. Alright, that looks good. Now I'm going to make this text here where it says, here is an example. I'm going to make that into a hyperlink and just link it to Google, just to demonstrate that. So I'm going to go back and edit this page. And all you do to create hyperlinks is highlight the text you want to be the hyperlink. Here is an example. And click on this icon that looks like a chain link. And click on the one on the left. And then you're going to select the URL. You're just going to paste that in. So what I'm going to do is open a new tab and just simply go to google.com. And I'm going to copy and paste this URL, selecting that, copy, go back in here and just paste that in. And one common mistake you can make is you can have HTTPS or HTTP in there twice, and you just want to make sure it's only in there once. And we're just going to add the link. And now if we update the page and go back and view the page, we now have a link right here that you can hover over and click on, and when you click on that, it takes us to Google. Okay, now let's make some adjustments to our WooCommerce settings. Go back to your back end. And then you're going to go to WooCommerce and click on Settings. Alright, so for our base location, I'm going to say United States. So I'm just going to type that in. And I'm going to say Colorado. Currency, I'm going to type in US dollars. And allowed countries, I'm just going to make this only for the US, just to make things simple for purposes of teaching the material. Alright, and then that looks good. And then I want to check allow registration on the My Account page because I want it to be really easy for potential customers to sign up for an account so that their contact info and shipping information is saved so they don't have to type that in each time they purchase. And then we're going to go down and click on Save Changes. Okay, and then the last thing I want to do here is go to Emails, click on Emails, and I'm going to delete this because I don't want Powered by WooCommerce to appear in the footer of emails that go out to my customers. I'm just going to say, we appreciate your business, and save changes. Alright, now we're ready to add our products. So to do that, we're going to go on the left here to Products, and we're going to click on Add Product. Now the first product we're going to add is a golf ball set of 12. So I'm going to give it a title, paste that in there, and this is the long description, and I've already got some text type out for that. So I'm just going to copy and paste that in here. And this functions just like the visual editor did in the About page. You can add images, you can add bullet lists, all kinds of things, hyperlinks, you name it. We're just going to use that for now. And then the short description, we're going to paste in here. All right, and then we're going to go back under product data. We're going to make this a simple product. Most of your products will probably be simple products, and two main types of products. You have simple products and variable products. And variable products are when you have variations for your products, like for a t-shirt you might have different sizes or different colors. So this is just going to be a simple product. We're going to give it a price of $60, and notice that our unit of money is in the dollar, since we specified that in our WooCommerce settings. Alright, and then if we wanted to have a sale price, for example, if I wanted this to be $50, I could set that and it would actually show that it's normally priced at $60 but it's on sale for $50, and I can even schedule this and click on this calendar and set a start date, and click on this calendar to set an end date. So if I wanted a 2-day sale there between August 8th and August 10th, I could do that. But I'm just going to leave that at $60. Actually, I'll keep that on there. And we'll just not set a schedule, and then that way I can just manually come in and remove that when I want the sale to be over. You have some inventory options if you want to do that. We're going to keep this simple for now. And right here, we need to add product categories. And categories are a great way to make it easy on your customers and make it easier for them to be able to find your different products, because a lot of times different items will be in multiple categories. So we're going to add a product category called golf. So I'm going to type that in, then I'm going to click Add New Product Category. And then we're going to add another category called Sports Balls. And I'm going to click Add New Product Category. And now both of those are listed and checked, and I can always come in and remove them if I wanted to. Next thing I need to do is set a featured image for the product. And to do that, I'm going to click on Set Featured Image here. And then I'm going to click on Upload Files, because this is an image that I have saved to my hard drive. Click on Select Files. And I'm going to find this image right here is the one I want. So I'm going to click on Open. And again, you want to give it an alternate text and a description. Actually, description. And I'm going to rename this. It just says golf ball set. And then I'm going to set featured image. And that'll take a second, and then it will appear there. And then I want to add 2 images to the product gallery so that there will be a total of 3. So I'm going to click on that, Upload Files, select the files, and I've got these 2. I'm going to select them both by clicking on the first one, holding down Shift on my keyboard, and then clicking the second one. Then click Open, and it'll load both of those at the same time. Alright, when they load, you want to click on them and do the same thing, give them a title. Just going to copy and paste that here and here. And then you want to do that to the other one. Alright, and then we're going to click on Add to Gallery. And it will take a few seconds to add those to our gallery. Make sure I got both of them. There we go. That one's in there twice, so I'm just going to delete it right there. Alright, and now I'm going to publish the product. And if we go over here and click on View Product, we'll be taken to the product page, the newly created product page, and there you have it. This is the short description that we typed in at the bottom. This is the long description that we typed in at the top. And then we also have our categories, golf, It's in the golf category and the sports balls category. You see that the $60 original price is slashed out because this product is currently on sale. And then we have our featured image right here. And then our gallery images are here, these two. And when you click on the featured image, it will open up a light box and you can go through the different gallery images. And also, if you have larger files, which these images are pretty large, you can click on this icon and view the full-sized image, which is pretty neat. And then we can just click to the side to exit. And also notice that this product now appears down here, and this will rotate random products. The more products you add, the more variation you'll have in your product rotation down there. And also, when you click on shop, you'll notice that we now have our first product, and it is currently on sale, so it's got a sale marker. Alright, so let's go back and add our other products in. Products, add product. And the next one is going to be our tennis racket. I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to paste in the long description. Space that out a little bit. I'm going to go down and paste in a short description. Alright, I'm going to set this at $125 with no sale price. And another thing I want to point out, if you click on Advanced, you can choose whether or not you want to enable reviews on that product. So we're going to leave that on, but I just want to show you that you don't have to keep that. And you can specifically choose that on any given product. And let's go ahead and set our featured image. We're going to upload a new image, select the file. Okay, it's going to be one of our gallery images. There we go. Open. Okay, give it a name. And set featured image. And then I'm going to add one gallery image. Alright, add that to the gallery, and then now we're going to add a new category, and we're just going to call it tennis. Add new product category, and now just click publish. Alright, I think you're starting to get the hang of it. Just a couple more products here. Add product. This time we're going to do the tennis ball set of 10. And paste the description. And the short description. $50. Another thing to note, you have if you are really on top of your inventory and you actually have what's called a stock keeping unit, you can put those in here, and WordPress will keep track of that for you as well. Leave reviews on, and for the category for the tennis ball, it's going to be in tennis and sports balls. Add the featured image. Give it a title. And click on Set Featured Image. Alright, and I'm not going to worry about a gallery image for this particular product. I'm going to click Publish. Alright, and then we're going to add our soccer ball. Click on Add Product. I know this probably gets boring watching, but I feel like if you watch me do it a couple of times, you'll be able to remember it more easily. I'm going to add a new product category called soccer. So now it's in those two. Upload the featured image. Actually, this is the gallery. I don't want the gallery. Set featured image. There we go. File. And we're not going to have any gallery images for this one either, just to make it faster for you guys. Alright, and then publish the product. And I'm not sure that I published all of the products that I've done, so I'm going to click here, click on products, and make sure. Okay, actually it looks, they all look good. Alright, so let's go back to our website. And now you see that on our home page we have the random products is showing 4, which is as many as it will show, and it'll rotate. If you had 16 products or 25, it would will only show 4. Click on Shop, and you'll see we have all 4 of our products there. And just to show you, you can click on any given one and be taken directly to the products page, just like that. Alright, now let's get a little more complex and add a variable product. So let's go back to our back end. And for this example, we're going to use a t-shirt. Products, add product. And we're just going to call it t-shirt. Paste in our long description. And paste in our short description. Okay, and then we're going to change from simple product to variable product here. And notice that the pricing option goes away, and that's because we have to set a price for each variation of the product. So to set our variations, click on Attributes, and we're going to go over and add a new attribute. And we're going to give it a name. We're going to say color. And you're going to want to check on both of these boxes. And here we have to enter the different values, and for this I'm going to use red and green, and you have to separate those values with the pipe key, which is you have to hold down shift and the key is beneath the delete key, and it looks like a lowercase l, but it's actually not. So I'm going to type in red space shift, and then I'm going to hit the pipe key space and type in green. And then I'm going to save the attributes. Okay, and then I'm going to add another one here by clicking Add. Scroll down, and I can click here to minimize that. Or actually, that only works for the variations, but let's add another attribute, and let's call it size. Check both of these boxes, and we're going to do small space pipe key space medium space pipe key space and large, and then we're going to click Save Attributes. Alright, and now click on Variations and set the default selection, so when the customer clicks on the item for the first time, let's just have it be the red small t-shirt. And now we're going to add our variations one at a time. Click on Add Variation, And let's start with the red. So we're going to do the red, and then we'll have to do a red for small, medium, and large, and then we'll have to do a green for small, medium, and large. So the red small is going to be $10. And click on Add Variation to add our other one. Now we can click here to minimize that since we've already taken care of it. So let's do red medium. This is going to be $10 as well. And we're going to add our red large, and for the large shirt, whether it's red or green, we're going to make it $12. So let's do red large, and let's make that $12. Alright, add the variation. Now let's take care of our green. Click there to minimize that. And for green, small is going to be 10. And here we want to specify a different image for our green shirt. So click there, and we're going to upload a new image. Of course, we'll give it a title, alt text, and description. And then set variation image. Alright, now let's add another variation for the green medium. Click there to make that smaller. Green medium, and again is $10. And let's set the image again. Now we don't have to upload it since we already have it uploaded to our media library, so just click on the image and set variation image. And then the last one, we're going to add a variation, and this is going to be green and large, and again $12 because it is the large. Add the image, minimize that, and now let's set the featured image, and that's going to be the red t-shirt. So we're going to upload the red t-shirt image. Red t-shirt. Alright, and that should take care of that. So let's go ahead, and we do need to add a product category. We're going to just call this apparel. Now we're going to click publish. And then we're going to click on View Product. Alright, as you can see, by default it's showing the red small because we specified that. And I just want you to notice if we change the color, if we want to click there and change it to green, the image will change as well, which is really great feature. And notice the price is $10 for the green small, the green medium. Price is also there. I just hit the clear selection by accident, but the green medium is $10. Now if we change to a large, that price changes to $12, and the same thing works for the red. So this is a really flexible feature, being able to add variable products like that. It's a great tool. One thing I want to just mention that I forgot to mention earlier about images: if you do get images that look like they've lost quality, they look pixelated or anything like that, you're probably using images that are too small. These are actually really large images. If I click on this, it opens there, but then if I click here again, you can see the full sized, which that's actually too large. We don't want it that big, but you want it to be at least this big, probably. So that's just one thing to point out there. And of course, we've got this product in our apparel, and then when I click on shop, we'll see all the products that we've added, just like that. Alright, now let's click on our home page by just clicking on the logo here. And you'll see we have our random products there, and then we still need to add our slideshow. So to do that, let's go back to our back end. And I'm just going to exit out of these. Alright, first go to products and then click on products. And you don't actually have to do this to get them to show up on the slideshow, but I like to go ahead and do it. It's good practice. Mark the products that you want to show as featured products, and that means starring them. So you just click on the star. We're going to do the soccer ball. Clicking that, it'll take a minute. Okay, and then click on the tennis racket, and we'll do the golf ball set. Just click on those stars. Alright, and that automatically saves those as featured products. And then to add them to our slideshow, hover over Mio, click on Mio. This will take us back to our theme options. And we're going to go to Woo settings. And by default, it's set to featured products. So we're going to scroll down, and next to featured product 1, we're going to click on this, and it's going to show all the products that we have. Let's go ahead and set that to the soccer ball. Then we'll do the tennis racket. Then we'll do the golf ball set. Then we're going to save. And you'll get that check mark there. Now I just want to point out here, these are the different slideshow options. You have the effect. Right now we've got it set to scroll, but you have all these effects you could try out. Just select the one you would like to try and then click the save button. Also the auto time interval, that's how long the slide will actually show on the screen in seconds. And so you can just play around with these different options, but for now let's go ahead and click here to view the website. And now we have our working slider. Again, that takes 8 seconds. Other than that, if you want to do it automatically, you can just click these to transition between each one. So you have the long description, the title of the product, and then you can click more info to be taken to the product page, or the buy now button to be taken to the product page. And I'm going to click that just to demonstrate. That takes me straight to the soccer ball page. Alright, so that's the sliders. Very easy to do. Just a couple of clicks. Now let's add another menu item that has shop categories, and that way people can hover over that, and a list of a drop down of all our different categories will display. So to do that, let's go back to our back end, and we're going to go to appearance and then click on menus. Alright, and we're going to add it to our main menu. So what you're going to do, since we don't have a page that says shop categories, we're going to add a link. So click here on the drop down arrow next to link, and this will open up. And we want the link text to say shop categories, and that's what it'll say on the menu. And then we don't want that to be a clickable link. In other words, we just want it to be a drop down, so when people hover over it, clicking on shop categories won't do anything. It just displays all the other categories beneath it as a drop down. So we're going to use the URL, make it a pound key, hold shift and hit the numeral 3, and we're going to add that to the menu. And then we're going to click and hold and drag that up and put it underneath shop, like that. And now this is our blog categories. This isn't product categories. So to get the product categories, what we're going to want to do is open a new tab, and let's go ahead and type in your URL, pull your site up. I'm going to click on the shop, and I'm just going to click on a random product here. Okay, so what we have here is category golf and sports balls. So if I click on sports balls, you're going to see all the products that are in that category. And that was when we set up the products, we specify what category we wanted them in. Now here's the URL for that particular category. So I'm just going to copy that URL, and then I'm going to come in and I'm going to add another link, and I'm going to paste it here as the URL, and I'm going to call this sports balls, and then I'm going to add that to the menu. Then I'm going to drag it and put it underneath shop categories, and I'm going to indent it a little bit. So now it's going to be a drop down. And then click Save Menu. And then we're going to do the same thing for golf. Go back, click on golf. I'm going to copy this URL, add another link, paste that URL in there, and call this golf. Drag it up underneath sports balls. If we did this, it would be a drop down within a drop down, which we don't want, so we'll keep it right there. Alright, let's do the same for tennis. Or we can do the soccer first, so we'll do a soccer category. Copy that URL. Add to menu. Drag that up. Indent it. And we'll go back, and I believe we need our tennis category and apparel category. Tennis. Click on tennis category. These are our tennis products, and I'm sure you've noticed by now the URL is pretty much the same. You've got product-category / and then whatever the category is, and that follows your domain, so that's consistent. Add tennis and then add that to the menu. Replace my battery there. That up. Then apparel. My t-shirt, because that's in the apparel category, I know. That. Copy that URL, paste it in. Add to menu. That up there. Alright, and now do that. Now I'm going to hit Save Menu. And I'm going to go back to our website and refresh the page. And now under shop categories, we have all these different product categories as drop-down menus. So when you click on them, if I click on sports balls, for example, I'll get the 3 products that are in the sports ball category. And the same with the tennis, I'll get the tennis racket and the tennis balls. Now, the next thing I want to point out is the footer menu. I think I said earlier it does not support the drop-down, so if we click on shop categories, nothing happens. It stays on this page because that's not a link to anywhere. So we're going to set up a different menu for the footer. Go back to your back end and click on Appearance, hover over Appearance, click on Menus, and we're just going to add a new menu by clicking here, Create New Menu. And we're going to call this Footer Menu. And click on Create Menu. And then we're going to make this the footer menu here. And actually, before we do that, let's go back to our main menu. Click on Select. Leave the page. It asks you to do that, and we need to turn off the footer navigation, then save the menu. Okay, now we can go back to the footer menu we just created. Click on Select. Alright, now let's put our About page on there, our Shop page, Cart page, Checkout page, and that should be enough. And click on Add to Menu. And we'll arrange these in whatever order you'd like, and then make sure and select that we want that to be the footer navigation menu, and then click Save Menu there. Alright, now if we take a look, can see that we no longer have that shop categories down there in the footer. Okay, now let's talk about widgets. And to do that, let's go back to our back end. And we're going to go to Appearance and then click on Widgets. Now over here on the right, we have all the different widgetized areas that this particular theme, the Mio theme, provides. So we've got our sidebar left, our sidebar right, and then we've got the top widget, the bottom widget, the page top widget, and the page bottom widget. So basically we have 6 widget areas, and each theme is going to come with different widget areas. But primarily we're going to focus on the sidebar left and the sidebar right widget areas. Now earlier we were here, go back to Mio, and when we were looking at our sidebar layouts towards the beginning of the video, I pointed out we had on our product pages we have our sidebar orientation set to sidebar right, and for all our other pages, our blog pages, which we've yet to create, and then our layout pages, our standard pages, which would be our about page, are set to sidebar left. So go back to Appearance Widgets, and we know that if we add something to the sidebar left, it's going to show up on all those pages that are specified to have the sidebar left, which is going to be our about page. So let's just demonstrate by adding a WooCommerce cart to our sidebar left. Okay, and that's going to save that automatically. So I'm going to open this in a new tab. Go over here, and you won't see anything different on the home page. You won't see anything different on the any given categories page, because those all have a sidebar right. But when we click on the About page, you'll notice that our meta box is gone, and we now have the shopping cart widget. Now it does say the shopping cart's empty, so let's change that by adding the golf ball set. Alright, now if we go back to our About page, we'll have the golf ball set added to our cart, and that'll show up on the left just like that. Now let's go back to our widgets, and on our sidebar right, let's add product categories, which will be right here, WooCommerce product categories. Just click and hold and drag those over, and we're going to minimize that by clicking that arrow, and then let's click on also the cart, minimize that, and then let's click on the price filter. Drag that in, and that's saving that automatically. Alright, now if we go back, and now when we click on the shop page, you'll notice that meta widget disappears, just because that's what's in there by default. If nothing's in there, it will show the meta. And now we have our categories here, we have our cart, and we have our price filter. The price filter is really cool because on any given products page, if you're looking at all your products like we are now on the shop page, we can set it to only show products that are between 0 and let's just say $10, or $12 is fine. Then click filter, and only our t-shirt will show there, just like that. So it's pretty cool. And then also if you clicked on sports balls, the price filter will only be applied to this page. So now if we set it to products between 17 and 40, it'll only show the soccer ball. Just click filter, just like that. Alright, now let's get into the fun stuff, and that starts with creating our logo. And basically I'm going to show you how you don't even have to come up with your own color schemes to create a very professional logo. You can borrow color schemes from what the professionals have already come up with. And the way I did that for this particular website was obviously it was selling sports products. It was a mock website for selling sports products, so I wanted it to be somewhat sporty. So I've got a pair of really nice trail running shoes that have a nice deep orange, nice vibrant orange rather, and a vibrant blue, and a really nice gray. So basically I used a tool called Colorzilla, and I'm going to open a new tab, and that's colorzilla.com. And this is a plugin for the Firefox browser, which I love, or also the Chrome browser you can get it on. So what you want to do is go to Colorzilla.com, and click on ColorZilla for Firefox and Chrome. And if you're using Firefox, it'll show up as for Firefox. If you're using Chrome, it should show up under here for Chrome. Otherwise, just click the tab there. But I'm on Firefox, and I've already got this plugin installed. But what you would do is just install ColorZilla, and it would walk you through the directions. It might ask you to restart Firefox. But once it's installed, if you're using the Firefox version, you can go to Tools, and then you'll have this ColorZilla option, and then you can click on Color Picker. And then you can click on the eyedropper here, and anywhere we hover our cursor, it's going to tell us exactly what color that is. For example, if I hover over this blue, it's going to tell me what color that blue is. This black or this gray, you can see it moving, and the numbers that are moving right now, it says F7, F7, F7. That's called the hex code, and that's a 6-digit color code, and that's what we're after. So we want to find the hex code for the colors that we want to use for our logo. So I'm not actually going to pull up the image of the shoe just for trademark reasons. I'm not totally sure about all that, so I'm just going to show you what I did. I basically just went to google.com, and just to note, it's not, you can't copyright a color scheme. So that's nothing to worry about. But I just went to Google Images, I typed in the model of the shoe I have, pulled up a pretty large image, and then I used the ColorZilla plugin to pick out the orange, the blue, and the gray. But since I'm not going to show you the image, I'm going to tell you about a really cool website for coming up with color schemes. It's called colorlovers.com. And that's color spelled C-O-L-O-U-R. And basically this website just gives you all kinds of color trends, color palettes. You can click on print, for example, and get all these really cool color palettes that will give you the color hex codes for each of the colors used in the color palette. Right here we have the 6-digit code for this particular brown, and then we have this kind of a grayish brown. We've got the hex code right there. And if I click on that, this is the hex code right here. Now if you have the ColorZilla tool, you can click, and you weren't using this website that gave you the hex code, you can click on the icon here, which is the eyedropper, or you could go to Tools, ColorZilla, and click on the eyedropper. But we're just going to click there, and that's going to activate the ColorZilla eyedropper. And if we hover over it, you'll see that it says 8D7966, which is exactly what it is here. So I did that, and I got these 3 color codes. For my blue, that was my hex code, for my gray, and for my orange. So I'm going to use those color codes when I create my logo. And to create my logo, I'm just going to go to a website that's really great for this sort of work, ipicky.com, and that's ipiccy.com. And click on Start Editing. That's going to open up a canvas for you, and then you're going to want to click on Create New Blend here. And let's just make this 555 pixels wide and 555 pixels tall, and then click on Create. Alright, now I'm not sure why it's not giving us a square image. Let's discard that and start over. Click there, and then now create. That should work. There we go. And we're going to add a text layer. So click on Text, and each of our 3 different lines of text is going to be a different color. So we're going to create a new text layer for each of those. Our first one, you're just going to click, hold, and drag up to the corner here. That's fine. We're going to crop this image, so it's not a big deal where it is as long as it's on the far edge. And then we're going to type in, go to our text area here, and then in all caps I'm going to type in Excel, and I want that to be size 32, so I'm going to click on that and double click it to highlight the size, type in 32 on the keyboard, then click Enter. And then before I change the color, I'm going to change the font. So I'm going to scroll down here, click on ethnocentric. And then I'm going to go back up and change my color. And if you didn't have a hex code, you could always just click here, or move your palette around this way, and that's going to give you all your different colors. But we're just going to copy and paste those codes in. It's much easier to do it that way. So for my blue, I'm going to copy that in. Make sure you don't get the pound symbol. All right, there we go. So I've got that set up, so I'm just going to click here in the white area. That's going to exit me out of that text layer. I can get back into it by clicking there, but I want to create a new text layer, so I'm going to click the text again, click hold, and I'm going to drag this right about there. Then I'm going to type in all caps, sporting, and again, change the size to 32, and my code for this is going to be straight 4s. Paste that in there. I'm going to scroll down and choose my font, ethnocentric font. And then I'm going to click out of that to get out of that layer. Now, to position this, I can click right here, and that's going to select the sporting text layer, and I can use the arrow keys for precision positioning, which I think comes in handy. Definitely. So I'm going to put that right about there. Click away. And then add my final text layer. And I'm going to call this, I'm just going to type in goods. Change the font size. I'm going to change the color to this nice orange. Paste that in there. And choose my font. Clicking that. And then I'm going to get it somewhat close. All right, there we go. Now, this is very important to do. If you forget this step, you kind of have to start over. So we want this to be a transparent logo. In other words, we don't want any white in our background. We want the logo to be transparent so that this white space where the O's are, for example, and just all around it would just be whatever the background color of our website is. And we're going to use a textured background, so we definitely don't want it to be a white block. So we're going to click here on this lock to turn off the lock. And then we're going to click on this eye to turn off the visibility of the layer. And now it turns into this checkered, excuse me, turns into this checkered pattern. So that means it's transparent. And now we're ready to crop the image. So just go ahead and click on Done. And it'll bring up these options. We're going to click on Crop Picture here. And we're going to click and hold and drag this where we want it. And again, we can use or actually you can't use the arrows for the crop, but that's okay. We're just going to get it pretty close there a little bit, and then we're going to click, hold, and drag on this corner to resize it. Make sure you don't cut any of the letters off. It's good right there. And then once you get it the way you want it, click on Apply. And now we have our logo. We just need to save it. So click on this disk here that says Save. And make sure you save it as a PNG because we want the background again to be transparent and not blocky. So I'm going to call this Sell Sporting Goods PNG, and I'm going to save the photo. And I'm just going to save it straight to my desktop so I know where to find it. Click on Save. And now we have our logo. So to add that to our site, go back and we'll just click on here to get to our back end, then go to Mio. Alright, and now by default you're taken to the header, and we're going to go down under logo and we're going to upload our logo. Click on Select Files. Then I'm going to go to my desktop. There we have Excel Sporting Goods. I'm going to click Open. And then I'm going to click on Insert Media. Okay, we're still not done. We've got to scroll down and click on Save All. Alright, now I'm going to click here to view my website. And now we have our nice new logo, and it still has the same cool fade effect when you hover over it, just like the default logo does. Alright, now I'm going to show you how to change the background of your website. And first we're going to exit out of these tabs rather. Alright, go back to the back end of your website and click on Mio. And then you're going to click on Styling Options. And then you're going to click on Backgrounds. Scroll down. And right here we have our background settings. Right now we have it set to the default setting, which is no custom background, and it's got this background color. If you click on that, you'll see that it's just set to zeros, which is a white background color. And if you wanted to change that to, let's just say a gray, we could click this little circle and drag it up, and you see that the color is changing. And if we let go, then we would have the color with a hex code of EB, EB, EB. I don't know if you can see that, and then you can, of course, drag this all over the palette and then also change this to get any color. And you can always copy and paste a hex code in. But we're actually going to use a repeatable pattern for our background. And for that, we're going to open a new tab and go to subtlepatterns.com. And this is an excellent website for finding repeatable patterns. I've used it before in other videos, so you may be familiar with this, but we're going to search for concrete. And that's the one I want to use. I want to use this pattern. And one thing, if you're not familiar with repeatable patterns, what's really great about repeatable patterns is that they take a really small image, and the images are designed to repeat seamlessly across the x-axis and across the y-axis. So when they're laid side by side or when they're laid on top of each other, they look like one image. They flow very smoothly from one to the next, so you would never know that you're looking at one image that's just repeated over and over again. So we're just gonna, if you hover over and click on preview, it'll actually change the background of this website to the pattern you're previewing, and I'm hoping that you can pick this up with the video. I think that if you're viewing in HD, you should be able to see this pattern pretty well. So we're going to download this by clicking on download, and we're going to save the file. Okay. And I'm going to open it up here, and it's a zip file, so I'm going to click on it and it's going to unzip it for me. Your system may do that a little differently, especially if you're using a PC. So now I have that in a new folder, and here I have my PNG, and I'm just going to open this up in my preview to show you how small this image actually is. That is, let's go to view actual size. That is the actual size viewed at 100%, and this is going to repeat this way, and it's going to repeat up and down. So I'm going to show you how to set that. So now that we have that, we're going to upload it to our site. Go ahead and go back, and we're going to change this right here where it says no custom background. Click on that, and we're going to go down one to upload a custom background. And then we're going to click on upload. We're going to select files from our computer, and then that's saved to my downloads file into this wall 4 folder. I've already got it on there from testing this out earlier, so either one of those. And that's what I want, the wall 4 PNG. On open. Then click on Insert Media. And go ahead and change this background color. You don't want to leave it on something like that, because occasionally your browser will load that background color first before it puts in the tileable image. This usually isn't an issue, but we don't want that pink color to show. Alright, and now we have to decide whether or not we want this to repeat. And of course we do. We want it to repeat across the x-axis and across the y-axis. So we're going to set it on image repeat. We're going to click on that and just select repeat, and that will automatically repeat it across the x and the y-axis. If we only wanted to repeat it across the x-axis, we could of course choose that there, and also for the y we could choose that there. And if we had just one large image that we wanted to use as our background that we didn't want to repeat, we could select this option. But we're going to select repeat, and image position I like to do left top. So it's going to be the far left hand side of your site, left top side of your site. And just so you know, if you did have one large image that you wanted to use as your background, I would recommend, and you weren't going to repeat it, I would recommend using the center top option for that. And then for the background attachment, I'm going to say scroll, and I'll show you what this means here. But go ahead and we're going to click on Save All. And I'll demonstrate the scroll. Then I'm going to right click and open a new tab. And now we have our new background. Alright, looks good. Now what scroll means is that when we scroll down, the background scrolls with us. Okay, now if we go back and we set this to fixed, and then we save, and then we go back to look at our site and refresh the page, the background will remain fixed while the content scrolls. Just like that. So it's kind of a cool effect. It's a different effect, but I'm going to leave this to scroll because I want our background to scroll with the content. So I'm going to change that back to scroll and click Save All. Okay. Now I'm going to go back and take a look, and I want you to notice this text is a little bit lighter than I would like to see. The heading here and the text here. So I'm going to make that a little darker so that it's a little easier to read. And I'm actually going to make it the same gray as the sporting there that we used. So to do that, go back to your Mio styling options. This time we're going to click on typography. And you do have some font options here, but the headings, the soccer ball, that's going to be a heading. Okay, and that's going to appear also on your individual product pages. Those are also headings, category pages, that sort of thing. So we're going to change that color. Click on font color, and I'm going to make this the same color that I did, like I said, that I did with the logo on the sporting word. And that was just straight 4s, so 6 4s. So I'm going to copy that, come in here, paste that in there. I'm going to click away. Then I'm also going to make my text that color. And to do that, just click on font color, the little icon next to font color. Paste that in, click away, and then I'm going to go down and save all. Okay, now I'm going to refresh the page. And you'll notice the text is more legible. It's easier to see that way. So that's just a change I like to make. Now let's go back to our Mio settings. And let's just go back to the general settings. And I want to show you how to adjust your social media icons that appear here in the footer of your website. Right now we have the Pinterest, the Google+, and the RSS feed. You do have some more options, and of course you don't have to have those display if you would rather them not. So go back, and we're going to go to the general settings and click on social media. And right here we have the options that allow you to select whether or not you want to include these and what your URL is for those various feeds. So if we didn't want RSS to show up, then we would uncheck that. If we wanted to take off the Google+, we could turn that off here. But the Google Plus icon, this is the Google Plus one, that's different. The Google Plus icon, if we wanted to link that, leave that on by keeping that checked, and then link that to our Google Plus page, we would just paste in the URL for our Google Plus page right there. So to do that, you would just go open a new tab, go to your Google Plus website, and copy and paste that URL into this box. And the same would apply for Facebook. You could check that and then paste in your URL for your Facebook page there. And again, Twitter, Pinterest, Flickr, YouTube. So all sorts of options are included with the Mio theme, which is great. Makes it really easy to integrate social media. Alright, and then I want to show you, let's go back to our shop and click on the shop page. And I just want to point out, we only have 5 products that we've added to our shop. Well, let's say we had 15 or 20 or more than that. You want to be able to set how many products are going to display on any given products page at once. So right now, if we had our setting set to 5, this would be the maximum number of products that would display per page. And then you would have a little 2 down here that would allow you to click, and that's called pagination. So you could click on the 2 and get the next 5, and then click on 3 to get the next 5. But let's say we wanted to display, let's say we had 20 products and we wanted to display 2 rows. So that would be 8 products per page. What we would do is go back to our Mio settings, and we're going to click on Woo settings, and then we're going to click on product options, and then right here, products per page, you could change that to 8 in that example, or whatever you'd like. So just a real quick thing I wanted to point out there, since we're not using that many products, I want you to be able to understand that. Okay, now we're going to set up our payment gateway, our tax options, and our shipping options. So to do that, let's close out of these. I'm going to go to WooCommerce, hover over that, and then click on Settings. And the first thing we're going to do is set up our payment gateway, and for that we're going to use PayPal. So click on Payment Gateways here, and then you'll see here we have direct bank transfer that is checked here, it's active. We have check payment that's active, and then we have PayPal down here that's active. Well, we're going to turn off the direct bank transfer and the check payment and just use PayPal because it is by far the easiest solution for e-commerce. So to turn these other options off, direct bank transfer, I'm going to start with that. Click on this BACS there, and that is the bank transfer. Uncheck the box that says Enable Bank Transfer, and then go down and Save Changes. Okay, then go back up and click on Check, and then you're going to also uncheck that box that says Enable Check Payment, Save Changes. And if we go back to our Payment Gateways page here, you'll see that the only one checked now is PayPal, and just for the sake of demonstrating this, if you did have multiple options and you wanted them to display on your checkout page in a particular order, you can drag and drop them like that. And now we have our PayPal enabled for checkout, but we need to set it up and link it to our PayPal account. So to do that, click on the PayPal tab there, and obviously we have it enabled, and right here you would paste in, copy and paste in your email address that corresponds to your PayPal account. And if you don't have a PayPal account, it's incredibly easy to get. I'm going to open a new tab. Just go to paypal.com, and if you're really getting serious about selling online, I would recommend signing up for a business account. It's extremely easy to sign up for as well. Business or personal though, either way will work. And to sign up, let's just say we wanted to sign up for a business account. You're going to click on Business, and you're going to go down to See Plans and Pricing. And right here, the standard business plan with PayPal does not cost you anything per month. There's no flat rate there. I'm going to click on Get Started and show you what you will get charged per transaction. Actually, I'm going to go back, and I'm going to see all standard features. Then I'm going to see pricing. And right here we have a chart. This is the PayPal payment standard. There's no monthly fee, there's no setup fee, but each transaction you're going to be charged 30 cents plus 2.9% of that transaction. So if someone purchased $100 from you, you would be charged 30 cents immediately and then 2.9% of that $100, so roughly $3 plus 30 cents. And that 30 cents is going to be applied whether your item is $1 or up to the sky's the limit. So very quick and effective way to sign up with PayPal once you're signed up for the business account. And when I say it's easy to sign up, I really do mean it's easy. It literally takes just a few minutes, 5 minutes maybe. PayPal's really good about making things efficient for you. But once you're signed up, you will just put your email address in right here. And I'm going to use my personal email address just so that we have something to link to. And I'm going to save changes. Okay, so now I've got that set up. Now I'm going to go and take care of my tax options. So click on the tax tab. And right now we don't have taxes and tax calculations enabled. So let's say that you run a business in Colorado and you have to charge sales tax to Colorado residents, but the rest of the nation you don't have to worry about sales tax. So you only want to charge your customers that are in Colorado sales tax. To do that, we would enable tax calculations, so check that box there, then click on Save Changes. And by default, now that we've enabled taxes and tax calculations, you can see here we have the standard, the reduced rate, and the zero rate that are already set up as our tax options. By default, now that we've enabled the taxes, all of your products will take on the standard tax rate. So we want to change the standard tax rate, and it's still currently set to 0 since we haven't added anything here. But we're going to add a row. So click on Insert Row, and we're going to type in for our country code. These are 2-digit country codes. We're going to use US, and then the state code is going to be CO for Colorado. And then the tax rate, let's just say our sales tax rate that we have to charge our customers in Colorado is 7.5%. So you're going to type in 7.5%, and then this box here, choose whether or not this tax rate also gets applied to shipping. We're not going to worry about that. It's just going to be applied to the products that are in their cart. Shipping will be an additional cost. So we're going to uncheck that box, and then we're going to click on Save Changes. Alright, and just to demonstrate what I was saying about the products taking on the standard class by default, go to Products, and click on Products, and I'm just going to open up the t-shirt and show you now. Now we have this tax status, it's taxable, and the tax class is standard. You can go in and change this to the different tax rate, but we're going to leave that at the standard rate because that's by default what we want, and all of our products will actually take on that standard rate so that only Colorado residents will be charged that 7.5% sales tax. And I'm not going to worry about updating the page there since we didn't change anything. So now let's go back to our WooCommerce settings. And now we're going to set up our shipping. So you're going to go to the Shipping tab. Okay, now we have enabled shipping. That's good. We want to uncheck the enable the shipping calculator on the cart page because we're not doing any fancy calculations here with shipping. We're just setting a shipping rate that is a standard shipping rate. So we're going to enable that. Click on Save Changes. And now I want to take off this free shipping. I don't want to have free shipping right now, so I'm going to go to free shipping here. Click on that, and then let's uncheck that box, save the change. And I do want to enable flat rate shipping. So click on flat rate. And then we're going to check the box that says enable this shipping method. And I'm going to call this standard 5 to 7 business days. That's going to be the name of this shipping class. And I'm going to put this for the US. Okay. And I'm not going to make that taxable. And I am going to make it $5. So what we have here is when people choose the flat rate standard 5 to 7 business day option, they will pay $5 no matter how many products they have in their cart. It's just going to be one flat rate of $5, and that's going to get them the 5 to 7 business days shipping option. Now let's say we wanted to add a 2-day shipping option. So we're going to come down here to additional rates, and in this box you can see here we're supposed to type in an option name, which can be whatever we want to call this, and that's what we'll display on our checkout page. And we're going to say for this one 2-day shipping, and then we're going to use the pipe key again, and then we're going to add in the additional cost. So let's say we want our 2-day shipping to be $5 on top of the $5 we've already put in, so we would put $5 there. So now it would be $10, and then we do the pipe key again, and then we need to type in per order, per class, or per item. So we're just going to do an additional $5 per entire order. So we're just going to type in order there. So to demonstrate that, we're going to do, let's just call it 2-day shipping, space, and then hold down shift, hit the pipe key, which again is right below the backspace or the delete key, and then we're going to do another space, and then we're going to say $5. And you don't need to worry about the dollar sign, and space, then shift pipe key again, and then we're going to do order. So that's going to charge an additional $5 per order, and that's going to get them the 2-day shipping. And then you're going to enter down, and we're going to add an overnight option. So we're going to call it overnight, space, pipe key. Actually, I'm going to call it overnight shipping, and space, pipe key. And then we're going to make this an additional $10, then space, and then do the pipe key. And then we're also going to do that per order. All right, now we're going to save the changes. Okay, and now if we go back and take a look at our site, and we have 2 items in our cart currently. Let's just go ahead and click on checkout. All right, so now we have one golf ball set of 12, which is $50, the soccer ball that's $30. And here we have our shipping options. By default, it's going to take on that standard 5 to 7 business days shipping for $5. Then we have the other 2 options that we created. Now you're seeing the 2-day shipping is $10 total, so it's the $5 plus the $5 that we added for the 2-day shipping. And then we can select that option. And what's pretty cool is it will update the cart for us. And I also want you to notice here, see now it's $96, and then the overnight would add an additional $5 onto that. Now what I want you to see is the tax is actually being factored in right now. It's adding in the $6 tax, which must be 7.5% of $80. That's the total of our cart. Now this note here says, note, shipping and taxes are estimated. Tax is estimated for the United States and will be updated during checkout. So what that means is when we proceed to the checkout, your customer will now type in their billing address, and their shipping address will be, they can choose whether or not that's the same as their billing address. But let's just do this real quick. And what's going to happen is, if the person is not a Colorado resident, in other words, if their billing address and shipping address, if it's not Colorado, then that $6 tax is going to be taken off. So let's just say we're from Arkansas. Okay, now watch as it updates. Now that tax is gone. That tax is no longer part of it. Now if we change this to Colorado, instead of $95, it's going to be $101. It's going to factor that cost in. So a very easy way and effective way to control which states have to pay tax. And you can apply that to your billing address or to your shipping address. And I'm going to go back and show you where to point that out. Go back to WooCommerce settings, and then click on tax. And then right here, we want our shipping class actually calculate tax based on customer shipping address. We could change that to the customer billing address. So if the customer did have a different shipping address, it would only matter about their billing address, but most people, their address is the same. But you do have that option there to choose from. Okay, and one more thing we need to do to our PayPal payment gateway. Go ahead and click on payment gateways, click on PayPal. We need to uncheck, scroll down, uncheck this box that says Enable PayPal Sandbox. And basically what Sandbox allows you to do is test your payment system. We're not going to worry about that. We're just going to uncheck that and save the change. If you don't uncheck that, then what happens is when your customers go to check out, they can pay with a PayPal account, or they have to sign up for a PayPal account to pay. So we don't want that. We want customers to be able to pay however they would like, with a credit card or with a PayPal account. So uncheck that, and now we're going to go back and I'll show you what this looks like when they check out. Go back to our checkout page. We're going to go down and proceed to checkout. And I'm just going to leave all that information in there and place the order. Now this is going to take your customer directly to a secure PayPal page, so they're checking out through PayPal and not through your website, which would, if they were checking out through your website, you would have to go through a whole additional series of processes to make that work, but this is definitely the efficient way to do it. So now they have the option to either log in with their PayPal account information and pay that way, or if they don't have a PayPal account, they can click here and just simply enter in their billing information and their credit card information, and that would be all it would take. And notice that we have the itemized list of products that they're purchasing, and the shipping cost is included since we signed up as a, or the taxes are included since we signed up as a Colorado resident. So yeah, and also I want to point out the email address here where it says WordPress_sculptor@gmail. That's my personal PayPal account email address. If I was using a business account with PayPal, like I recommend for you to do, then that would actually have your business name, and the same at the top, it would say your business name instead of your email address. So let's go ahead and go back. We're going to go back to our dashboard. Now I'm going to show you how to set up some advanced shipping options, and for this example, we're going to pretend like we have certain items that cause us to incur an additional shipping cost for each one of those items that are shipped, and we want to pass that cost on to the customer. And to illustrate this, I'm going to pretend like my tennis rackets cost an extra $2 for each tennis racket that is shipped. And to pass that cost along to your customer, first we're going to create a shipping cost by going to products, or a shipping class rather, by going to products, then shipping classes. And we're going to add a new shipping class, and we're going to call this tennis racket shipping. And I'm going to click on add new shipping class, and it's going to add that to the right there. And then we're going to go to WooCommerce, click on settings. And we're going to click on shipping at the top. And then we're going to click on flat rate. Alright, and now we're going to add that by going to add cost here. And you're going to make sure that your tennis racket shipping class is selected. And we want this to be an additional $2. I'm going to type that in there. And then we need to change up here, make sure that's per item and not per order. Because we want each time a shipping, or each time a tennis racket is added to our cart, we want it to add $2 for shipping. And then we're going to go down and click on Save Changes. Alright, and now we have to go and click on our products page for the tennis racket. So go to products, then click on products, and then we're going to click on tennis racket to open up our product page editor. Scroll down and click on shipping. And where it says shipping class, we're going to assign the tennis racket shipping. And then we're going to update the page. So now our shipping class has been added to the tennis racket product. So when we go back to our website, and let's go to shop, and let's add a tennis racket to our cart. And then we're going to go to checkout. And what I want you to see here is I'm just going to remove these so that it's easier to see. Update the cart. Okay. Now, instead of $5 for our shipping cost, which it was, now it's adding a $2 for the one tennis racket. So now it's $7 here, and then 2-day shipping we had to add $2 more, and then overnight shipping we had to add $2 more. Now if we do this and add another tennis racket so that we have 2 total tennis rackets, then update the cart, it's going to add $2 more to each one of those. So now we have 9 and 14 and 19. And it will keep doing that for as many tennis rackets as a person adds. Alright, so that's a really good way to add some pretty advanced shipping functionality to your e-commerce website. I know a lot of you might have special shipping needs, and using shipping classes is a great way to cover those. So now I'm going to show you how to use a coupon code to give your customers free shipping. And for that, we're going to go back to our back end. And the first thing we need to do is enable free shipping. So go to WooCommerce settings, click on settings, and then we're going to click on shipping. And click on free shipping. And we're going to enable free shipping. We're going to call this free shipping, 5 to 7 business days. So there's no confusion there. And then we're going to change free shipping requires from not applicable to a minimum order and a coupon. And you can set this up however you want, but I want to make a coupon code that will, first of all, the customer has to have at least $100 in products, and I'm going to add 100 there. And they have to have the coupon code. So we're going to save the changes here. And then we're going to create our coupon code by going to products, or actually WooCommerce coupons. And we're going to click on add coupon. And let's just call this the coupon code. We'll just do free shipping 2013. And then we're going to call this free shipping coupon. And this is going to be the discount type. We're going to leave that at cart discount. And we're going to enable free shipping right there. Then we're going to scroll down and we're going to set the usage limit to 1 so that this coupon code can only be used one time. And after that, it will no longer be usable. And it's not going to expire. We could set an expiration date by clicking on this icon, but we're not going to worry about that. And one thing I want to point out here is you could set a coupon up for anything. It doesn't have to be free shipping. It could just be an amount. For example, if you wanted to give someone a discount $10 off, you could do $10 here and uncheck this box. But we're just going to leave it this way for now. We're going to publish. Alright, and we're going to go back to our cart. Click on checkout. And we have at least $100 in here. We have $250 in our cart. So I'm going to add this coupon code. And it's going to enable the free shipping option. So I'm going to call it free shipping. I'm going to type in free shipping 2013 because that's what the code was that we created. And then when I click on apply coupon, you'll notice that we have another shipping option. All right, and now we have this free shipping 5 to 7 business days option. And the customer could select that. And then of course, if they wanted to pay for the overnight or the 2-day, they could also do that anyways, but now they at least have the option. All right, so now I'm going to talk about some advanced product options, upselling and cross-selling. And basically upselling is when you have 2 products that are similar, and one of those products you make more money on. We want to encourage your customers to purchase that product instead of the product where you make less. So to do that, we're going to use the example of our normal golf ball set of 12, and then we're going to have a premium golf ball set of 12. And we want, when people are looking at the golf ball set of 12, the normal one, we want to encourage them to purchase the premium set. So to do that, we're going to set up our premium golf ball set of 12 product. Just go back to your back end. And we're going to go to products, add product. We're going to call this premium golf ball set of 12. We're not going to worry about a description. We're going to price this at $80. And we're going to put this in the golf category and the sports balls category. We're going to add a featured image, and it'll just be one of the gallery images that we use for the other golf balls. Let's just use this one. Add in our alt text. Okay, set the featured image. And we're not going to worry about a short description. Now we're going to publish the product. And now let's go back to our products page. Click on products there. And we're going to need to select the golf ball set of 12, the normal one that we first created. And it's priced at $60 and it's on sale for $50. So we're going to make less on that than we will on the 80, we'll say. And we're going to scroll down and we're going to click on Advanced under Product Data. And I'm sorry, we're going to click on Linked Products rather. And here we have our options for upselling and cross-selling. And for this, we're going to use this as an upsell. So we're going to type in premium and give it a minute, and it'll search through our product database, and it's going to find our premium golf ball set of 12 that we just created. So we're going to click on that, and that's all we're going to do for now. We're going to update the page, update the product. Okay, and then we're going to view the product here by clicking here, and that's going to take us directly to the product page for the golf ball set of 12, the normal one. And when you scroll down, now you have this you may also like, and it's got this premium golf ball set of 12 there. And that's the one, this is the upsell example. So when customers are looking at this page and they scroll down, they read the description, and then they see this because we're trying to get the customer to purchase the premium set. Now let's do an example of cross-selling, and we're going to go back to our back end. And for this, I'm going to use the example of when a customer is purchasing a tennis racket, I'm going to attempt to cross-sell them some tennis balls. So for that, we're going to go to our products and view products. We're going to click on our tennis racket, and then we're going to scroll down and click on linked products. And for cross-sells, we want to cross-sell them the tennis balls, so we're going to search for tennis ball set. Give it a minute to search through our product database. Tennis ball set of 10. Click on that, and then we're going to update the page. All right, now let's view the product page. And when a customer, let's say they add this to their cart, and they're going to check out, so they're going to view their cart. Now when they view their cart, they get this really cool you may be interested in, and it's got the tennis ball set of 10. And this is a great way to maximize your revenue per customer because you're encouraging them to purchase related products on the checkout page. And if, just for example, if we took this out and updated the cart. This is only going to appear for when people have the tennis racket added. So the cart's empty. I'm just going to add a soccer ball to my cart just to demonstrate. So now when I check out and I only have the soccer ball, I'm not going to get any related products because that only applies to the tennis racket. Now I'm going to show you how to add a blog to your e-commerce website. Now this isn't something that you have to do, but I highly recommend it because it gives you a really good way to communicate with your customers more about your brand and also just about new product launches and things like that. So to do that, let's go to our backend. And first we're going to create a page called blog. So go to Pages, Add New. And we're just going to call this blog. And then we're going to publish the page, clicking on Publish. Alright, now we need to tell our WordPress backend to acknowledge the blog page as our posts page. So to do that, go to Settings, then go to Reading. And next to Posts page, let's select Blog. And then click on Save Changes. And now when we view our website, we'll just open this in a new tab. And you'll see we haven't added it to the menu yet, so I guess we need to do that first so that we can easily access the blog page. Let's go back here. Appearance, Menus. And let's select our main menu first and then click on Select. This is going to be our top navigation. Click on Blog, select it there, and then click on Add to Menu. Okay, and now it's added it at the bottom, which is fine. You could of course rearrange that by dragging or by clicking, holding, and dragging that, but we'll leave it there. And then we'll click on Save Menu. And then we're also going to add this to our footer menu. So go and select the footer menu, click Select. Let's click on the blog box, Add to Menu, and save the menu. Alright, now if we go back and refresh our website, we'll have the blog page right here and also in our footer there. So when you click on blog, you'll notice that we have one blog post, and of course we're getting the sidebar left template because that's what's set up by default as we looked at earlier. But this first post here is the sample post that comes installed with WordPress. So what we're going to do is delete this post and add our first blog post. So to do that, go back to your back end, and we've been going to Pages for our About page and Products for our Products pages, but for posts, for blog posts, we're going to go to Posts, View All Posts, and we're just going to come over here, hover over Hello World, and click on Trash. Okay, so that's going to send that post to our trash, and now we're going to add a new blog post. And we're going to call this New Product Launch, tennis racket. And I'm going to give this a category called New Product Launches. And these categories are going to be your blog categories. This is different from your product categories. They're going to display differently, so these will be separated. And I'm going to add category. And I'm just going to come in here and I'm just going to copy and paste this text. And again, this is the visual editor, and it works the exact same way as we've been using it for pages and products. So you can add images and make your text bold and change the color by hovering and using this right here, but we'll just leave it simple like that for now. And then we're going to add our featured image, and we'll just use the tennis racket image. we've already uploaded, so we'll click there and set featured image, and then we're going to publish. Alright, now if we go back and look at our website here, and then we click on our blog, we'll see our very first blog post right here. And what would happen if we had multiple blog posts? They're going to display on this blog page in reverse chronological order, which means your most recent post will always be at the top, and people can go through and click on the featured image or click on the title and get to the full post. And they also, if you allow them, they can leave comments. Your users will be able to comment right here. And if you did want to turn off comments, it would work in the same way. I'm going to edit posts. I'm going to go to the edit post button, and that's just a quick way to get back to this post editor. And if we wanted to turn off comments, we would just click on screen options, make sure discussion was checked, minimize that, and then we could just uncheck allow comments and then update the page, or update the post rather. And then we could view the post. And now it says comments are closed. And just a note, if you do enable comments, when your users leave comments for the first time, you'll have to approve them. And to do that, you would go to your back end, and then here, comments, you would have a new comment, and you could just click on that, and your comment would be here, and you could just approve or unapprove, however you wanted to do that. And then I'm going to add a sidebar widget on my left sidebar that's going to show my blog post categories. So here we have sidebar left, and again, that's only going to display on our blog pages and our normal pages, like our about page. So I want to add a categories widget. And notice this is not product categories, this is just standard categories, which is going to be our blog categories. And I'm going to call this blog categories. Click on save. And now if I go back to my website and I view my blog page, you'll see that we have this new categories widget. And if we kept adding blog categories, they would all display right here. And this will also be on our about page because it also has the sidebar left. Now, if for whatever reason you don't want to blog on your e-commerce site, I'm going to show you how to get rid of this box here that shows your latest blog post. So to do that, go back to your back end. And we're going to go to Appearance and then click on Editor. Okay, and we want to make sure that the style.css sheet is opened up here. And if it's not for some reason, you could find it down here under Styles. And we're going to scroll down to General Header here. I'm going to click there. You have to be very careful with editing this file, and you only need to do exactly what I'm doing. You can run the risk of messing up the appearance of your site here. So click next to General Header and click on Enter. And then on this line, I'm going to include this code in the video description below, but it is just period footer underscore blog space, and then we've got a bracket, and then I've got display colon space none semicolon, and then another bracket. And then you're going to update the file, and again, just copy and paste what I'm going to include in the video description. That's the easiest way to do that. And now if we go back and view our site, let's refresh the page again. There we go. Now it is no longer there, and that's going to also be the same on all of our pages. It's no longer going to be part of it. Alright, and just to go back and fix that, because I do have a blog and I do want that to display, I'm going to go to Appearance, Editor. I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to select all of that, delete it, and backspace up the way it was and update the file. Now if I go back, I have that box back. Alright, and the last thing I want to show you how to do is get rid of this annoying just another WordPress site text, and it's also there on the tab, and that comes by default. So to do that, let's just go back to our back end, and we're going to go to Settings and then click on General, I believe. Alright, yep, and we're going to change this, and you can put in whatever you want. I'm going to type in your solution to sporting goods, and then I'm going to save the change. Alright, now when we view our site, we have a change there. And one more thing that I left out, I'm going to show you how to copy and paste some HTML code onto your page. I'm going to use the About page, and for that I'm going to go back to subtlepatterns.com, and since I used one of their patterns, they ask that you leave an attribution on your site to reference them. So for that, we're going to go down to their homepage, go to the bottom, click on this Creative Commons text, and we're just going to copy and paste this HTML code. Copy it, then I'm going to come back to my website, go to my back end, and I'm going to go to Pages, All Pages, and click on About. And I'm going to switch to my text editor since I'm going to paste in some HTML. And I'm going to go to the bottom, hit enter, and then I'm just going to paste that in there. Then I'm going to update. And now if I view the page, you will see that I have the attribution to subtlepatterns.com right there. Alright, well that covers it. Thank you so much for watching this video, and as always, if you found it to be useful, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below. Also, adding this video as a favorite really helps me out, so I really appreciate that. I'll see you next time.